Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, the Toronto Maple Leafs have officially announced the signing of Russian forward Alexander Barabanov. And I said it before on this channel, I hate scouting reports because scouting reports use a lot of buzzwords and buzzwords are just nonsense filler. How does this player actually look? How does this player actually compare to his peers over in the KHL relative to his age? How does he compare to past players that have come over? How does he fit into the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup? And also, kind of a scouting report at the end. Those are all the questions that are going to be announced in today's video, but first off, the ELC is for 1 year and $925K against the cap, so definitely flexible. The 25-year-old right winger will be 26 years of age at the start of this upcoming season, and he's listed on EliteProspects.com as being 5'10" and 179 pounds. But the thing that I found really interesting about Alexander Barabanov is that he had 46 points in 58 games in the KHL in the 2018-2019 season, and then only 20 points in 43 games this past season. It's always important to contextualize the numbers, and this is the team that Alexander Barabanov played on in the 18-19 season, where he did put up 46 points in 58 games played. And you can see that Nikita Gusev is there. And Nikita Gusev, since coming over to the NHL, has been able to put up 44 points in 66 games with the Devils this season. So obviously one of the better KHL players. And there's names there like Pavel Datsyuk and Sergei Plotnikov and Nail Yakupov, and I'm sure that there's a couple of other guys that a few of you recognize as well. And then looking at this year's team, where did everyone go? I mean, it kind of looks like he was battling some type of injury here, but the games played numbers are all over the place for the KHL, so I'm not even going to try to imagine what was going on there. It's a very weird league. So Alexander Barabanov's numbers are down from the previous season, but as what you can kind of see here is that the numbers from SKA St. Petersburg are kind of down overall. But I do think from seeing individual clips of him and plays that he's made, and not just against KHL competition, against Canada in the IIHF tournaments, on the international stage last year and the year before that, this is a player that has a lot of skill. He has a great skating ability. He's got that can opener style of skating that we see Mitch Marner employ sometimes and that we see Jeremy Bracco employ almost all the time with the Toronto Marlies. He's very fine on his edges down low behind the net from what you'll see in the clips that I've linked in the video description. He's very deceptive at gaining the offensive blue line, and he's got a little bit of a nose for the net, just taking it right through the center of the ice. And one of the clips in the video description will show him doing some work down low against Vegas Golden Knights defenseman Shea Theodore, and he absolutely wins that battle, passes the puck out in front of the net, while forwards like Connor McDavid and Sean Couturier are on the ice for Team Canada, and sets up a goal for Russia. So while his point totals are down this season compared to the previous one where he put up 40 odd points or so, I don't think that that's a reflection on his overall skill. I think that that's a reflection on SKA St. Petersburg, his team. And wait, you didn't actually think that I was gonna miss that, right? One-time Maple Leaf great Igor Osaganov was also on the same team as Alexander Barabanov this past season. That guy packed up his locker and left like the Flash after the 18-19 season. But let's contextualize these numbers even more. How does he compare to his peers? So what I have up on the screen right now is a list of individual KHL seasons for forwards under the age of 26, so 25 years and below. And this is where Barabanov's 18-19 season kind of fits in when you compare him to his peers. You're going to see a couple of NHLers here. Evgeny Dadonov, Yuri Latira, there's Barabanov at 30th. Teammate, maybe Ilya Mikheyev. They got to see how that contract goes down, but I have a feeling that it will get done for a reason that I will explain a little bit later on in the video. Miro Aaltonen, who was a guy that the Leafs brought over a couple of years ago, but he didn't really get a chance to show what he can do with Mike Babcock, and then he kind of just went back to the KHL, whatever. Vadim Chipichov, which was a failed experiment for the Vegas Golden Knights, but I think that that had to do with overall fit more than it had to do with the player's skill. So some quality players that have played in the NHL in that company. Just a little insert to throw into the video here. The reason why I said that Ilya Mikheyev was probably going to re-sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs is that Dan Milstein, his agent, is also the agent for Alexander Barabanov. So it's kind of a thing of you scratch my back with this client, I'll scratch your back with that client. And in terms of how he fits in on next year's Maple Leafs team, because guys, he's not signing a one-year deal to play with the Marlies. He's going to play with the Maple Leafs to start the season. And if things don't work out, I'm sure he's got an opt-out clause to go back to Russia in that deal. But I don't really know what line he would play on, right? What he is he's competition for guys like Nick Robertson, for guys like Pierre Engvall, who have really done nothing in the last 20 games or so, except for score a goal on David Ayres. And that's why I'm not necessarily comfortable with just penciling Pierre Engvall in there, because he makes over $1 million. And everyone on the Maple Leafs that are making over $1 million need to serve a purpose. They can't just be breaking even with that player. Because if you haven't checked out the video that I made on the channel yesterday, the downfall of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the 03-04 team, why that team was so great, go ahead and check it out. There's a whole bunch of history and a whole bunch of context that I throw at you guys. That team was the best Maple Leafs team that we've seen in a really long time. And it was because they had skilled players who weren't afraid to be really tough SOBs, okay? Gary Roberts had a career-ending injury like 3 or 4 years prior to that, played like 8 more years. Darcy Tucker would continuously take runs at Zdeno Chara, even fought the whole Ottawa bench one playoff series. And Ty Domi, a lot of people want to bag on him, but he's got multiple 20-point seasons and a couple of seasons where he scored 13 or 15 goals. That's not a goon. So look out for that video on Thursday and check out the one from the day before that. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you did like it and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, if you got a mother, a father, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a sister, a brother, a dog, a bird, a cat, whatever you're into, and they're telling you that the Maple Leafs need to trade one of the core 4 players to make their team better, show them this channel. Because I've made dozens of videos showing how that's just wrong. And together we're going to squash that narrative, and so are the Maple Leafs in real life, and we're going to prove them all wrong. So just remember to take care out there, and I'll talk to you again really shortly.